Hey guys, Joker here. Today I want to talk about an anime. It's called The Eminence in Shadow. It is in English sub and English dub. It's a bit of an interesting one. It's kinda one of the newer ones that came out this year, and it's a really enjoyable isekai, but it doesn't take itself seriously. It's more for you to just watch and enjoy the ride. It doesn't have a very complicated plot, and it really does lift things are in the open, and things end up getting revealed. The anime as of now only has one season, and in total it has 20 episodes. Um, and basically the plot kind of follows the protagonist named Sid Kagino, who in his previous life, we don't know his given name, but apparently the family name was also Kagino, was obsessed with making himself stronger and better. I don't know, he had this obsession with the idea of being a superhero or some sort, and he he was pretty strong for the most part, knew different weapon techniques and things, but unfortunately he ends up dying by being run over by a truck. So he got killed by Truck Coon. And he then ends up being reborn in this more fantasy world, it's typical to a lot of isekai anime, and he very quickly realizes that because magic is real, he can now fulfill his goal of becoming the Eminence in Shadow. What that is, I'm not really sure. But the anime makes it a point to constantly remind you that that's what he wants to be and wants to become. And so he follows a bit in the same, I guess, routine that he did in his previous life, which is to train, hone his skills, become even stronger. And he does go to a point where he does become powerful to the point that he is OP. But because he has this a bit of a complex of just being a background character and not wanting to stand out, a lot of people don't even know that he has so much power. Unless he reveals that whenever he goes into his shadow persona. And he acquired this persona because he helped this girl that was, they say she was cursed, but I think it was that she just had too much magic flowing from her, and it was some sort of sealed, and he accidentally unsealed it, or helped her with that, because he didn't even know that it was a girl. He just thought it was some kind of monster, and he just decided to I'm just gonna throw a bunch of magic and see what happens. And then instead of coming clean to this girl about who he is or how he even found her, no, he decides to make up this whole story about how there's a cult who have been orchestrating to take over the world in secret, how nobody knows about them, and how they've been grabbing the heroes' descendants and sealing them away, but telling people that they are cursed. And of course, this girl believes him, and it's kind of interesting because later on, you quickly realize that this whole thing that he thinks he made up is actually what's going on, and it's a central key point to the story. But he completely thinks that it's all in his head and he made it up, and it's this huge game that he's playing with her and some other girls, because she ends up finding more girls. And it's very interesting because he, up to a long point in the story, believes that it's this huge game and that they're just playing along with him. And it's very interesting when you see his point of view and how it contradicts a lot of the other characters' point of view, especially when it shows you that what he thinks is a game is actually what is going on and what is happening. And a lot of times he dons this shadow persona to do a lot of the stuff he does and to like showcase his power and fight some of the bad guys. And he dons like a disguise and everything, and a lot of people never end up making the connection. Except for the ones who know, who are the girls, that Sid and Shadow are the same person. It's a very interesting one. Like I said, the plot is not very convoluted. You don't have to analyze it. It doesn't really take itself seriously. It's more something for you to watch and enjoy the ride. And sometimes it's just kind of stupid, especially with like just the characters' interactions and just how Sid interacts and just the lengths that this man will go to make sure that he stays as a background character are just very interesting and amusing. And I really recommend for you guys to watch, because it's a really good one. And I honestly enjoyed when I was watching this anime. And I think a lot of you who don't want a very complicated show but still want more of like a fantasy and kind of like action show might like it. And I really recommend for people to give it a watch. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends.